Hi, my name is Riddhi, and I live in Oregon. I'm 14 years old, and I have cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease that makes the body produce thick, sticky mucus that builds up around the lungs and other parts of the body. In the lungs, it makes a breeding ground for germs and bacteria that cause bad, reoccurring infections, which leads to loss of lung function. There are more than 30,000 people in the US with CF, and there's no known cure that applies to all CF patients yet. But I think it's important to point out that despite whatever people with CF go through, we aren't just patients, we're people too. CF has been with me all my life, but I would definitely disagree if someone said my life was centered around it. Yeah, I have to go to the hospital pretty often, take a lot of medications, and complete my respiratory treatments, but that stuff is normal to me. And I feel like part of the reason is because I've been blessed enough to have access to all these medications and equipment my entire life, especially antibiotics. I've developed this bacteria in my lungs called Pseudomonas, and it basically causes more mucus in my lungs, further perpetuating the negative effects of CF. Plus, it's antibiotic resistant, meaning it doesn't really respond well to small courses of antibiotics. So to manage this bacteria, I have to take inhaled antibiotics every day. When I get really sick and I have to go to the hospital, it's the IV antibiotics that the doctors do that help me feel better. And I know this case is really similar to other people with CF. And like I said before, despite having CF, I'm still a person too. There are many things I like to do. For example, I've received a black belt in Taekwondo. And I also love playing other sports too, like basketball and tennis, even though I'm not great at them. I also enjoy music and art. And I also love spending time with my family. I've moved around a lot from California to Virginia and now to Oregon. So my family members are my best friends. And I especially love spending time with my brother. He's very influential, and he's the reason I became vegetarian. And I've always followed whatever he's done from a young age. So probably the worst part of going to the hospital is leaving my family, especially during coronavirus times because there are only 2 adults allowed to visit. So far, the antibiotics like tobramycin and Caistin that I've been using every day have been helpful to keep me out of the hospital all the time. And that's why having the resources I need available to me has been so important to keep my life the way it is, meaning not centered around CF. So, people living with CF need effective antibiotics to treat dangerous bacterial infections. Unfortunately, new incentives are necessary to spur antibiotics development, and the current pipeline of antibiotics isn't adequate enough to address future needs. I personally believe that everyone has their own struggles. For me, and people living with CF, our struggles are usually medical related, but that's not the case for everyone. I know you as a viewer, whether you have health issues or not, you still have your own struggles too. But imagine if someone was able to help ease the intensity and added stress of your problems. Wouldn't that be great? Well, by co-sponsoring the Pasture Act, you will be supporting the development of new antibiotics that will ease the intensity and added stress of those living with CF and their families, so you can help others come closer to solving their problems. Lastly, I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity because it means a lot to me to be able to advocate for myself and others with CF and have someone listen. So once again, it would be very helpful if you could co-sponsor the Pasture Act because you'll be supporting the development of new antibiotics and help people living with CF and their families. Thank you.